What's up everybody, Johnny Omega here, giving you my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. With Christmas now upon us, I figured I'd give you guys an idea of the type of movies I like to watch during the holiday season. And just to clarify, this isn't a list of what I think the best Christmas movies are, just my personal favorite. And these movies are ranked based on how I view them as Christmas movies and not how I view them as movies in general. That would totally change the order of this list. I might surprise some of y'all with the movies on this list, but hopefully I could turn y'all on to some movies that maybe you haven't seen before. You're welcome. First on the list at number 10 is A Christmas Story. This movie is about a kid named Ralphie and his attempts to get the one thing that he wants the most for Christmas, which is a Red Ryder BB gun. Not only does he have to figure out how to get this BB gun after everybody's told him no, but he also has to deal with his day-to-day life leading up to Christmas, which involves his friends, his family, and even a school bully. This is one of the first Christmas movies that I ever remember seeing as a kid, and it always stuck with me. And this is one of the easiest Christmas movies to find on TV. They play it all the time during Christmas. They even have a 24-hour marathon of it on TBS. Wait, is it TBS or TNT? I don't know, it's one of those channels. Just flick through, you'll find it. Coming in at number 9 on the list is Bad Santa. This is a comedy starring Billy Bob Thornton about a guy named Willie who plays Santa Claus in a mall in order to get the inside track on the stores in it so him and his partner can rob it. Now that premise itself probably seems funny enough, but Willie is also an alcoholic, so you have to factor that in too. Warning though, for anybody who hasn't seen it, this is definitely not a family movie. It lives up to every part of its R rating, but it's hilarious. So I definitely would suggest this movie to everybody who's age appropriate. Next on the list at number 8, we have Batman Returns. This movie stars Michael Keaton as Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. This is a movie that I don't see on a lot of Christmas movie lists, but it's definitely on mine. It's more or less what you would think a Batman movie would be, and it's actually the first superhero movie that I ever saw that took place on Christmas. Which was really weird for me as a kid, because this movie actually came out in the summertime, and up to that point I had never seen a movie that took place so far away from the holiday that it took place in. It would be like if Independence Day was released during Christmas. But if you like superhero movies and you like Christmas, then you can't go wrong with this one. Next on the list at number 7, we have Scrooged. This movie stars Bill Murray and is a modern day version of A Christmas Carol. Well, the movie was actually made in '88, so I don't know if you can still call it a modern day retelling, but it still holds up 30 years later. Bill Murray plays Frank Cross. He's the head of a TV station, and he's pretty much a jerk to everybody that works for him. And being that he doesn't have much Christmas spirit, he's visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future to get him on the right track. Now this movie isn't inappropriate for kids, but it's definitely geared more towards adults. I was actually about 6 or 7 when I first saw this movie, and the fact that it was different than the other traditional Christmas movies is what drew me into it. I think you'd enjoy this movie at just about any age, as long as you realize what you're watching. Next on the list at number 6, we have Die Hard. This movie stars Bruce Willis as John McClane, and this is the movie that cemented him as an action star. Visiting his wife at a Christmas party, he's basically in the wrong place at the wrong time, as there's a heist going on in the building at the same time, and he's the only one that can handle it. Some people don't really consider this a Christmas movie just because the fact that it's Christmas Eve isn't really a major plot point, it's kind of a background fact. And the fact that it takes place in LA, which isn't the most Christmassy looking city, doesn't help either. And this movie was actually released during the summertime too, but the first time I saw it was during Christmas, so the seed was already planted in my head to consider this a Christmas movie. So if you want to see a holiday movie with a lot of action in it, then this is the movie for you. Next on the list at number 5, we have Gremlins. This movie is about a guy that receives a strange animal as a pet, and through a series of unfortunate events, that animal spawns little versions of himself. And those little versions of himself actually turn into little green monsters that run wild through a city. Exactly what holiday movies are made of. This is definitely an alternative to the average Christmas movie, and some people actually prefer to watch this more so during Halloween. But I love this movie, so I could watch it anytime. This movie is so good that if I had to re-rank the movies on this list as just movies in general, this one would easily be at the top. But as a Christmas movie, there are a few that edge it out. Next on the list at number 4, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is probably the one movie on the list that I don't have to explain because I think everybody knows the story about the Grinch. But the 2000 live action version with Jim Carrey, in my opinion, is the best one. I think the makeup and the prosthetics that were used for the Grinch and also the people in Whoville were actually done great. And Ron Howard and his team did a great job on bringing the Dr. Seuss book to life. The original book only took about 3 minutes to read, and the TV special was only about 25 minutes. So they had to do a lot of expansion to make this what it was. But everything that they added to the backstory of the Grinch actually makes sense, and I don't think you'll be disappointed if it's your first time watching it. Next on the list at number 3, we have Elf. This movie stars Will Ferrell as one of Santa's elves who finds out that he's not really an elf, so he goes to New York City to find his biological father. I think this is Will Ferrell's first starring role in a comedy, and he did a great job. This is easily one of the funniest movies that he's ever done. He doesn't fit in with the elves because he's 6'3", but he also doesn't fit in with the regular people because he still has the mindset of an elf. So to see him deal with that is just hilarious. Next on the list, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This movie is about the Griswold family and their days leading up to Christmas. If you ever seen any of the other National Lampoon Vacation movies, then you know the Griswolds get into funny situations anyway. But in this movie, a lot of new family members come into town, and the craziness that ensues with all of that just makes for one of the funniest Christmas movies that I've ever seen. To anyone who's seen it, I think it would go on just about anybody's top 10 Christmas list. It's really just a matter of where it would go. Alright, so if you stuck with me this far, you probably have a good idea what number 1 is. I can't go a single holiday season without watching this movie a few times. It's simply that good. And I think a lot of y'all will agree with me on this one, so without further ado, number 1 on the list, Jingle All the Way. This movie stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and also features the comedian Sinbad, and is about a father who, come on now, I really hope y'all knew I was playing. That movie is nowhere near my list, but the actual number 1 is Home Alone. To me, Christmas isn't Christmas without this movie. And if you've never seen this movie, I don't even know where to begin with my disappointment level. But for the sake of the video, I'll keep it moving. This movie is about an 8-year-old kid named Kevin McAllister who accidentally gets left behind as his family goes on a trip to Paris. His house becomes a target of 2 thieves, and it's up to 8-year-old Kevin McAllister to protect his home. This is a movie full of humor, heart, and is just great for the whole family. This is actually the first movie I remember seeing in a movie theater. I might have seen something else before that, but Home Alone is the first memory I have in a theater. So that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite Christmas movies are. Is there something I should have left off? Is there something I should have had on here? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to see what we got coming next.